Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today we are having a lecture for meeting number 3. I mean the third meeting. And I would like to explain according to the semester lesson plan. We will learn about the source of Qawaid. And here I have found such a complete explanation about it, and you can find it also in a slide share, and it is coming from Mahyuddin Khalid from Malaysia, UITM Malaysia, and this one is so complete, and I think we can discuss it together. Okay. Introduction to Qawaid Fiqhiyah. Definition, differences between Sharia and Fiqh and Usul and Qawaid. Importance of it and the source of Qawaid al-Fiqhiyah, which is Quran, Sunnah, Ijma' and Ijtihad. And the last is Maqasid al-Shari'iyah. Qawaid fiqhiyah or legal maxim are general rules which can be applied in various cases that come under common rulings, plays great role in the formation of Islamic law because they are used as principles to deduce rules of fiqh. According to Al-Qarafi, Islamic law can be divided into two parts, which is usul, the fundamental qawaid, and branches or furu. Qawaid, plural of al-qa'idah, means general principles. So qawaid is plural. A single of it called qa'idah. So many of qa'idah called qawaid. Fiqh means Islamic law. Qawaid fiqhiyah means the principles of fiqh which can be applied in different fields of fiqh that come under the common ruling. Most of qawaidul fiqhiyah consists of a few words but provide comprehensive meaning. Okay, we skip this one. Introduction to maxim. Maxim is general rule which applies to all its particulars. And according to As-Satibi, eternal maxim is pillars and human interest rests on them. The characteristic of legal maxim, qawaid al-fiqhiyah al-kulliyah, are theoretical abstraction, usually in the form of short epithetical statements and established principle, expressive often in a few words of the goals and objectives of Sharia, statements of principles that are derived from the detailed reading of the rules of fiqh on various themes, general in nature so that can be applicable to many different areas and situations. Actual wording of the maxims are occasionally taken from Quran and Hadith, often refined work of leading jurists and mujtahid. Okay, let's see. The function Qaidul Fiqh as a guidance or source, also as a tool towards understanding problem or issues, and also as a code of law. Okay, the importance of learning Qaidul Fiqh to know how the previous scholars solved the problem, etc. The origin. The first formulate legal maxim is the Hanafi jurists. So as we know, there are mazhab in Islam. The most famous is Hanafi, Shafi'i, Hanbali, and what is the last one? Hanafi, Shafi'i, Maliki, Hanafi, Maliki, Shafi'i, Hanbali. Okay. Develop gradually, and history of their development in a general sense is parallel with the fiqh himself. Developed mainly during the era of imitation or taqlid, in the nature of extraction or takhrij of guidelines from detailed literature of fiqh that were contributed during the first 3 centuries of Islamic scholarship, known as the era of ijtihad. Okay. Let's see what's the example. 5 major maxims. Acts are judged by the intention behind them. Certainty is not dispelled by doubt. Hardship begets facility. Harm must be removed. Custom is the basis of judgment. And I think as a learner it is more easier, especially if you have learned Arabic, that to remember the origin, the Arabic form of Qaeda, not in another language like Bahasa or English. This is the example. Maxims which are reiterated from a particular text of the Quran or Sunnah carry greater authority. For example, al-masyaqqah tajlibut taysir, al-umuru bimaqasidiha, ad-dararu yuzal. Later you must memorize this short qaidah. Al-masyaqqah tajlibut taysir means this one. Al-masyaqqah tajlibut taysir is hardship begets facility. Ad-dararu yuzal, harm must be removed. And then what is the last one? Al-umuru bimaqasidiha, acts are judged by the intention behind them. Maxims which are formulated by the jurists, for example, al-yakin la yuzalu bishak. What is this? Certainty is not dispelled by doubt. Al-yakin la yuzalu bishak. Dar'ul mafasid awla min jalbil manafi, or in another text is dar'ul mafasid muqaddamu ala jalbil masalih. Wording of detriments takes priority over the acquisition of benefits. It means that to prevent something harmful is more important than doing something kindness. Okay. Classical literature. Tahrijul Furu' al-Usul, Anwar al-Buruk fi Anwa'il Furuk, etc. Majalatul Ahkam, produced in 1285 by the Ottoman government in Turkey. First codification of Islamic law, and there are 99 principles of fiqh mentioned in Article 2 to Article 100 in this set of law. Most of these principles are taken from the collection of Ibn Nujaym. Modern literature, we can find it in Al-Madkhal al-Fiqh al-Am al-Wajiz في عدة قواعد فقهية الكلية القواعد الفقهية نسعتها وتطورها دراسات مؤلفاتها النظرية الفقهية. Just like what I've said before, that to study this in the origin language, you must understand Arabic first. Okay, let us continue with the difference of term, comparing Qawaid Fiqhiyah with Sharia Fiqh and Usul Fiqh. Sharia, what is Sharia? Sharia literally is a water hole where animals gather daily to drink, or the strict path to be followed, a strict path as set by Allah. Then we put thee on the right way of religion, so follow that way, and follow not the desires of those who know not. Okay, so Sharia means a way, the right way. Okay, technically, the sum of total Islamic laws which were revealed to the Prophet Muhammad and which are recorded in the Holy Quran, as well as deducible from the Prophet divinely guided lifestyle. The component of Sharia, Al-Ahkam Al-I'tiqadiyah, sanctions, and also Aqidah, Al-Ahkam Al-Amaliyah, sanctions relating to actions, and Fiqh, Al-Ahkam Al-Akhlaqiyah, sanctions relating to moral and akhlaq. And what is Fiqh? Literally, Fiqh is the true understanding of what is intended. Technically, the knowledge of detailing rules of Islamic law with reference to conduct that has been derived from its specific evidence. Two aspects of fiqh: the science of practical rules and the knowledge of the detailed rules of Islamic law in its various branches. So, if you learn more about fiqh, there is the different fiqh for different act of Islam. For example, you can find the fiqh ibadah, how to worship. You can find also fiqh janazah, how to deliver that person for funeral. You can find also fiqh munakahat, how to marry a woman and what to do in Islam, of course. And also you can find fiqh siyasah. It is how we deal with politics and war. You can find also fiqh dakwah, how to teach Islam. to another person, and etc. There is so many kind of fikih, and also uh, fikih of woman, especially because there are a lot of hukum, a lot of rules in Islam about a woman. Difference between Sharia and Fiqh. Sharia, the body of revealed laws found in the Quran and Sunnah. Fiqh, body of laws deduced from Sharia to cover specific situation. Okay, wide in scope for Sharia and Fiqh is confined to human acts in terms of legality and illegality. Usul Fiqh, what is Usul Fiqh? Usul Fiqh is an expression employed for the evidence of these legal rules and for knowledge of the broad ways in which they reveal such rules, not by way of specific indication, according to Al-Ghazali. Okay. Difference between Fiqh and Usul Fiqh. Fiqh concerned with the knowledge of detailed rules, while Usul Fiqh methods that are applied in the deduction of such rules from their sources. Fiqh is the law itself, while Usul Fiqh is methodology of the law. And then the last is the differences between Qawaidul Fiqhiyah and Usul Fiqh. Usul Fiqh concerned with the methodology, while Qawaidul Fiqhiyah maxim based on the Fiqh. Usul Fiqh method which been applied in deducing law, while Qawaid is the principle. Usul Fiqh is external part of Fiqh. Qawaidul Fiqhiyah is internal part of Fiqh. Ruling related to Sharia, there are 5: wajib or obligatory, mandub or voluntary or sunnah, mubah is permissible, makruh is disliked, haram is strictly forbidden. The source of Qawaidul Fiqhiyah, the primary is Quran, Sunnah, Ijma' and Qiyas, while the secondary is Istihsan, Istishab, Maslahah Mursalah, and Sad'uz Zari'ah. Okay, and I think you have learned about this in Fiqh, right? In the lesson of Fiqh Mu'amalah. Okay, Al-Quran, Sunnah, Ijma', Qiyas, Maqasid Al-Syariah, and the categories of objective of Syariah, Hajiyah, Tahsiniyah, Daruriyah, or in general we can say primary, secondary, and tertiary. Ad-Daruriyah Al-Khamsah, which is originally from Ash-Shatibi, it is also called Maqasidus Syariah. There are 5, which is the protection of deen or religion, the protection of life, how we must protect life, no killing except in jihad war, and no suicide, protection of dignity, and how to protect dignity, no sex, without marriage in Islam. The protection of intellect, how to protect? Not using alcohol, not using drugs abuse, etc. Something that can damage your brain or consciousness. The protection of property, no cheating, no stealing, no robbery, and etc. Because the property is the right of the owner. Okay, I think that's all from me. You can ask in the group if there is something you don't understand. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.